everybody, and welcome back to another fantastic episode of John's Rockin' Vinyl 77. And I got some really cool stuff to show. It's not the most expensive stuff I've ever found, but it's all really good. And it's about 18 records, so it's a lot of stuff. So I don't have much time to show you guys, so I'm going to try to do this as quickly as possible. And if you notice, I'm in kind of a different location here. The spot I usually film, I decided to do something a little different. The lighting wasn't working in there, so I thought I'd come in here, and I feel like the lighting is a little bit better in here. So hopefully you can see everything and enjoy the video better. So anyway, without further ado, let's start with, let's see. Yeah, these are the ones I like to start with. Alright. Here's my first one. REO Speedwagon. This is their very first album from 1971. I mean, a lot of people don't even realize they've been around that long, but they have, man. They've been around since like 69 or something, the band. If you look right here, gold stamp promo. This is a really good copy of this too. I mean, the cover's kind of rough, but the vinyl's really nice. Kind of a tough one to find. I always look for these, and I always end up finding the later pressing after they got, after REO Speedwagon got famous. But this is the early pressing. I'm not sure if it's a first pressing or an early second pressing, but it's one or the other. I'm not 100% positive. But it's a really good rock album, and I highly recommend everybody check that out if you're into, if you're into just straight up rock and roll, early 70s rock and roll, good stuff on the Epic label, of course. And I got a few more things to show. Let's see, what shall be next? How about this one? Here's the Crying Shames, Sugar and Spice. This is kind of a garage rock album. It's kind of borderline. It's got a little pop flourishes on there too. But it's good. It's really good. It's a solid album. I would recommend you guys check this out too. This isn't a particularly hard album to find or anything. I think the mono version is a little bit rarer. This is a stereo 360 label, Columbia. Cool album. One you don't see I don't see it hardly at all, so something I don't see often. Cover's really nice. Nice tight seams and everything. Just a cool album to add to the collection. Let's see. I'm trying to find a place to put all my stuff I showed. Here's Lee Michaels. This is awesome. This is really good. This is all recorded live, June 2nd, 1969. Heavy organ, man. There's some really killer Hammond stuff on here. It's bluesy. It's kind of on the verge of psychedelic. Not really. I think that if you're into the blues, hard rock stuff, you're gonna dig this. No guitar really. Just drums, just percussion and an organ, but the sounds that he makes with that organ are so heavy, and his voice, soulful voice, just really awesome. Really great album. This is probably my favorite Lee Michaels album. He made a psych album called I can't even think of Carnival of Life or something. It's pretty good too, but I like this one a little bit better, just because I'm more of a blues guy, kind of. More of a rock guy, and this is more rock and roll. This is good stuff. I highly recommend you guys check this out. This is really good. This is a first pressing, and like the cover's like awesome. Like you never see this cover like this. And this is a cheapie too, man. This is something you can get for nothing, but it's so good. It's worth adding to any collection. This is awesome. This is just like outstanding, man. Like this album's really good. There's really like the whole album's really great, but like the standout to me, personally, I would say like side 2, track 1, Stormy Monday. That's just killer. The vocal and that, you know, that's just so cool. It's a great blues. Great blues thing. This is good. Good stuff. I highly recommend you guys check that out. And then up next, I'll show you guys this. This is John K's My Sportin' Life. This is his first solo album, I think. This was made after, I believe, after Steppenwolf broke up for the first time. They did end up getting back together later on, but the first time they broke up, he made this. This is actually a promo. So pretty neat to find that. I've never seen a promo of that. I think I've only seen this album one other time in my entire life, so it's kind of uncommon, kind of a rare album. Didn't sell very well, I don't think. But I think it's really cool, man. It's 1973, after the band broke up. This is good stuff. Just a cool record. It's got a little folky elements. It's got some rock elements. It's got it's a little Steppenwolf. It's got some of that. Not much of it, but a little bit. And then I think I'll do these next. These Savoy Brown records. I got 2 Savoy Brown. Hellbound Train. This is cool. This is really cool. It has a comic strip on the inside, on the cover. This is the nicest copy of this I've seen in a pretty long while. Only problem is it's got a little pin on the back. Somebody drew pin. But it's a great album. It's really cool. It's less blues rock and it's more straight up rock and roll than their earlier stuff. Their earlier stuff is more blues, but this is more rock and roll. Just a great copy of this. The vinyl's this is one of the best copies I've ever seen. Like, the vinyl's really mint. It's close to mint. I'd say excellent. Excellent plus. There's some really light scuffs. No scratches, man. This is good stuff. It sounds cool, too. It sounds really good. And then, next I have another Savoy Brown. This is Looking In. This is probably my favorite Savoy Brown album. It has Lonesome Dave on vocals. Of course, he would later go on to form a Thought. But yeah, Grateful opens like that. This is kind of a tough one to find. I don't see this a whole lot, and when I do, the cover's destroyed, and this one just looks great. The cover, the artwork on the front cover looks really awesome. The back cover, there's some ring wear. It's not too bad, though. It's kind of a tough album to find. Sorry about yawning. Guess I'm a little bit tired. I don't know. I've been trying to make this video all day. I've been having a couple of issues going on. But anyway, here's the labels. This is good. This is really good. Kind of blues rock, kind of boogie rock. A good little mix of both. Mix bag. It's good stuff. This is, like I said, this is probably the best one to me. So good stuff. Definitely check this out if you're not familiar with this band or that album. It's really good stuff. So up next, let's see, there's a couple of different ways I can let this go. We'll start with these. I picked up Wishbone Ashes' first album. Finally found a real clean copy of the first album, first pressing. I've had a UK second pressing, I've had a US later pressing, and now I finally have a US first press. Wishbone Ash, gatefold cover. The one I had didn't even have a gatefold, so I'm happy to get this. Really nice copy, really excellent near mint copy. Great album, really good. This is probably the more rock album. Their second and third album are a little more progressive. This one's a little more straight up rock and roll. So I think that if you're, I mean, it's on the verge of psych. It's on the verge of that, but it's not quite there. I love the sound they get on this album, though. It's got really good sound. A lot of modern bands have this kind of Wishbone Ash sound. This is good. I highly recommend you guys check that first one out. And this is the second Wishbone Ash album. I almost said second Pilgrimage. I don't know. It's the first Pilgrimage, probably. Here's Wishbone Ash's album Pilgrimage. Cool album cover. This is actually a really good album. It starts off really progressive, probably the most progressive album they've ever done. And then side 2 is just like straight up boogie rock. Kind of gets in a little blues, boogie rock blues. But this is a nice copy. The cover's a little split on the top, but the bottom seams are nice. Whoever had this didn't play it very much. They might have played it once or twice, but there's like no scratches at all on this thing. It's really nice. Only problem is it's got somebody's name written on it. Still a really cool album to find, and one you don't see very often. I got this as a birthday present. My last birthday from my dad. Found it at a thrift store, and he asked me if I wanted it, and I was like, yeah, I want it. Who wouldn't want that, man? It's great. Great stuff. Really great stuff. And then I got a couple of hard rock records here. Here's a Black Sheep featuring Lou Gramm on vocals. This is pre-Foreigner, of course. I believe this was made 1974, 75. 74. This was made in 74. The second album's from 75. The weird thing about this band is that who knows what, I mean, like, this band could have been huge. This could have been the next Foreigner, you know? It could have been the next Free. It kind of sounds like it's in that Paul Rogers Free vein. Very, very blues rock oriented, like, you know, and rock radio kind of thing. It's good stuff. It's really good stuff. I highly recommend you guys check this out. This isn't the best copy in the world, but it does have the original inner sleeve with the lyrics. It's got some light scratches. I'd say it's probably a VG+. Yeah, it's probably a VG+. It's a good copy. Typically these sell for like, you know, 20 or 25 bucks. I got it for like $7, so can't really beat it. You know, good deal. Really good album. But who knows what could have, like, that band, the thing that happened to that band is, I heard they got in a, like, all their equipment was destroyed in like a crash or something. They were alright, but all the equipment was destroyed. So that kind of ruined their career, really, and they only made 2 albums. And then Lou Gramm would go in, you know, to be in Foreigner later. Actually, if you look on the album, his name is actually, you know, Louis. It's spelled Louis Grammatico, Grammatico. So that's kind of interesting that it's like his full name, I believe. So it's pretty neat. And then we got Blackstone. I've had a copy of this. The last copy I had lots of ring wear. This one's a little bit nicer, in my opinion. It does have the corner cut out, which is kind of typical. These are usually cutouts. Still a good album. Really great. It's just great hard rock. Early 70s hard rock. The first song on side 1 is really hot. Really kicking, man. I mean, it's hard to pin these guys down. There's like one kind of commercial song, kind of radio friendly song, and then everything else is hard rock or progressive. Most of it's progressive, actually. So it's quite good. It's really strong. I think that you guys really dig it. I feel like this doesn't get enough credit. This doesn't get enough love. It's a really good, solid rock and roll album on Epic. Never hear anybody talking about this. Hard and heavy 70s, you know. Really good stuff. Really good album. It's not particularly, expensive or anything, but it's kind of tough to find. I mean, it's about $20. You can get a good copy for $20, $20 or $25. I got this one for $5 or $6. Which is really cheap, really good price on that. So, and then we got some more stuff that I gotta show. I know this video is gonna run super long. I probably have like 10 more things to show. So anyway, here's Zephyr. This is on Probe Records. The most famous thing about this band is who plays guitar on this record, which is Tommy Bolin, and he's just ripping it up on this album. Great blues rock album from 1969 on Probe Records. Killer female vocals on this. She's awesome. She's like Janis Joplin, but I mean, I think she's got a little bit of a stronger voice to me. It's a little more soothing on my ears than Janis Joplin. This is really good. This is their first album from '69 or early '70. Kind of hard to come by. And this is another one that's like really killer that I don't hear anything about. I never hear anybody talking about this, but it's a really good record. It's on kind of an obscure label. It's on the ABC Probe label. I believe that Morgan was on this. Weren't they? I think Morgan was on Probe. So some pretty high dollar psych albums are on this, and then there's this. I mean, this should be worth more than it is. I mean, if you listen to this, it sounds like a $30 album all day long. They can bring $20 sometimes, $25, but I only paid a couple. I didn't pay much for this. I only paid like $5 overall for this. So nice copy of this. Zephyr, really good stuff. I highly recommend you guys check this band out. And then we got some hard rock, some mid-70s hard rock stuff. I found these next two albums literally 2 days after I filmed my last video. Here's The Gods. This is just like straight up hard rock. Late 70s hard rock on Casablanca, I believe. Or it's on like a division of Casablanca or something. It's got the inner sleeve. On Millennium, which is a division of Casablanca. Pretty obscure album. And the cool thing about this is still in the shrink. So, this is kind of collectible. This is kind of a hard album to find. It's good stuff. Definitely a keeper. So, and I got this at the thrift store for like $1, You can't beat it. You can't. Good prices on this, Great album. And then I got another kind of late 70s hard rock
stars, Violation, still in the shrink. Clean as can be. Still has the sticker, price sticker. Was it Musicland? Today's special, $4.97. That's pretty good deal. I got it for $1 at Goodwill. Yeah. Here's the inner sleeve cover, and then you open it up, pull it out. It's just gorgeous, excellent condition, great copy. This is a great hard rock album. It's a little more hard rock than their first album. Their first album's a little more glammy. This was a little more hard rock. You see they're wearing leather on the back. Everybody's wearing that leather. Got to represent the early metal guys, you know. Really good stuff. I recommend this too. Like, you know, I say that all the time in my videos, but you know, it's the truth. It's good stuff. I recommend it. This isn't particularly rare, but what it has with it is rare. This is 10 Years After What? I mean, it's a good copy, really clean. Really good copy. I'd say excellent condition on the vinyl. This is one I picked up, not this past record show, but the one that I went to before that. And I got it in like the cheapo section, like the $3 section, and it had the freaking poster. So it's pretty outstanding. So. Look at that. That's freaking awesome. It's cool as hell, man. It's awesome to have that in the collection. I've been wanting that poster for a while, so for a couple of bucks, you know, get another copy of this. It's the best copy I've probably ever found. So this is definitely something I'm going to be keeping. I just love 10 Years After. They're one of the best early 70s, late 60s blues rock bands from the UK. This is just killer. I mean, this isn't their best album, but it's got a lot of good stuff on it. Gonna Run. That's the big one on here. Good stuff, yeah. And then I only got 3 left, I think. Well, no, I have 4 left. Here's a cool one. This is a part of that deal I got. This is Home. And this is UK progressive, early 70s progressive rock. It's a little folky, a little bit country rock, but the progressive, it's got really good guitar playing, great singing, wonderful voice. I mean, this is a $25 album online usually. So, and I only paid like, overall, with all the records, it ended up being about $7 for this one. So the only problem is it got a little sticker right here from a record shop or something. I don't know. This is good stuff. Really good stuff. This is a UK pressing, of course. That's pretty much the only way to get this album. I don't think they released it in the US. I don't think they only released their first album in the US. It's just gorgeous. It's almost mint. Really close to mint on CBS. I've never owned anything on the CBS label. I've been looking for Reno. There's some rare stuff on that label. This is a little bit of a later album, so it's not as rare as some of the other albums, but this is still quite collectible. And it's a really good album. I mean, let's see if we can get this sleeve. There we go. Home. This is their second album. Their first album is called A Pause for the Horse or something like that. And that first album, it's really like country rock, rural rock kind of thing. This is more progressive. And the third album gets even more progressive after that. I think the third album is my favorite. It's called The Alchemist. It's got a gatefold cover. It's really good. It's their last album. This is their second album. I believe the bassist or something in this band went on to go into AC/DC, I believe. So that's really neat, you know. Just really good UK progressive rock. I highly recommend you guys check that out. And then, I mean, the next stuff is nothing super outstanding, but it's all really neat stuff. Here's a Moody Blues original master recording, Days of Future Past. Just recently was the 50th anniversary of this album. Just a magnificent album. And I've been looking for the MFSL version of this for a long time for a good price. And I bundled some stuff together when I went on vacation. And this was just, you know, part of that stuff that I grabbed. You know, it's got the original limited edition, the original master. It's got the mellow form. It's got all the, you know, all the inner stuff. Really cool. The vinyl's just excellent, near mint condition. I mean, for an album that's over 50 years old, this thing just sounds wonderful. I mean, it's not an original pressing, of course. This is a mobile fidelity, you know. But these things are cool. These things sound awesome. I don't know if you guys ever, you know, if you guys have any of these, you know what I'm talking about. Great copy. Probably one of the best sounding copies of this album I've ever had, or I've ever heard. It just sounds really amazing on the mobile fidelity. And just a classic album. I mean, in my opinion, this, you know, it's probably the first progressive album ever made, and really good music. And then up next, the last two are kind of in the same vein a little bit. This is Born to Be Wild by Kim Fowley. I saw, who did I see show this recently? I can't remember. I can't really remember. I saw someone show this recently. And this is a real nice cover. Really clean. Really nice. The vinyl's kind of VG+. VG+. It's not real nice. But the coolest thing about this album is, you know, what it is, and you know, the music's it's actually really cool. It's all covers pretty much. It does like Hello I Love You, Born to Be Wild, Pictures of Matchstick Man, Sunshine of Your Love, all that kind of stuff on there. And it's all instrumental, and he's got a group, you know, like a session band playing with him, and they're all good. It's good guitar, some fuzz guitar on it. It's pretty much mostly keyboard and organ driven stuff, but it's really good. Of course, Kim Fowley ended up founding the Runaways, and you know, all kinds of different things, and it's just a cool, you know, it's an album of the time, you know, 1968. This is an original copy on the Imperial label. This is pretty tough to find, man. This is, and I got a great deal on it, man. It was like $10, which you can't beat, you know. Especially for it to be in such great shape. I mean, like this thing. I mean, like mint condition, these things sell for $30 or $40. So, really cool find. Been kind of after this for a while because that cover is real cool. I like the cover. So yeah, and then last but not least, this is the kind of, I mean, it's not really a Grell. I mean, I guess on the low scale, it's kind of a Grell. A lot of people probably would consider it a Grell. But it's the Firebirds Light My Fire. This is an original
pressing on Crown Records, in great shape. This was a trade. I'm not sure if I got the better end of the trade until I listened to this. And this thing just sounds awesome, man. This is like heavy. It's almost proto metal. It's really good. It's like what if Black Sabbath and Cream and Blue Cheer all were in the same room and we're all the same band and came together and were tripping on acid and recorded an album. That's what it sounds like. It's blues rock, hard rock, late 60s. It's got that fuzz going on. It's super heavy. I mean, it's pretty much it's everything that I expected and more. I mean, it's got this real primitive sound, what kind of adds to this, it's really lo-fi, which adds to the charm of the album to me. Just a really cool album. It's pretty much all original, all original songs. And there's some, when I got it, I was expecting it to be like, it is kind of a cash in on the psych stuff, but there's actually lyrics and vocals which I really appreciate that they added words and stuff to the music, because it could have just been an instrumental album. I mean, an instrumental album would have been cool too, but this is even better to me. So this is a great record. Highly recommend this. I mean, I'll probably give you a couple of songs from this and let you guys hear what it sounds like. Really good stuff. Really strong, fuzzy. I mean, kind of like, musically it's kind of creamish. Blues rock, just late 60s rock and roll. But the guitar is just like incredibly heavy. It's like, it's really heavy. It's like the heaviest thing I've heard in a long time. Especially as early as this. This is from 1968. So, this is really cool. They're more famous for their second album. It's called Hair, 31 Flavors of Hair or something like that. But this album is really cool, and I'm glad to have it in my collection. So anyway, I definitely recommend checking that out. And the best songs to me are No Tomorrows. No Tomorrows and Bye Baby. Both really good songs. Check those out on YouTube. Listen to it. If you dig those songs, you'll like the album. Really good stuff. So, anyway, hope you enjoyed my video and hope you liked what you saw. And please tell me what you think. What I got. And just, catch up and everything. And I hope to hear from you guys in the comments section. So, talk to you guys later. Bye.